The place where you supposed to pull your ATM pin, that way you pull that 8 number. Then they will ask you for the amount. That money where you generated, that money will count with the ATM will pay you.
So simple. Echo Binance for me again. I will always make use of the expert service big time. Echo Bank, the Pan-African Bank.
You pay attention, all of us that can use the road. If you're driving or using motorbike or even keke, if you're in a city or even on a highway, it's very important to know the rules of driving, the simple rules that can keep all of us safe. You must always wear your seatbelt. But rather, you and the person behind you must always wear your helmet. And rather, don't forget your reflective jacket. Speeding is general good because your life and that of the loved one may be inside too. Don't speed, even if you're in a city or on a highway. Don't drink or take in any substance before driving. So if you drink alcohol, don't drive. Or if that you driving, don't drink. Don't overload a car. It can lead to serious accident. Look for the red light and stop sign. Don't be close behind the other car on the road. Always stay far behind the car in front of you. It will give you more time to know what thing to do. If the car in front of you just stop jelly down. Always show the signal sign so the other driver then can know what thing you want to do. No texting, no calling, no setting the radio while driving. Keep your eyes on the road and your hands on the wheel. All the thing here will look simple, but it can change in no time when you're not paying attention. Drive safe, be focused, and respect the rules of the road.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Transport with funding from the National Road Fund of Liberia. Thanks for watching.
Hey, my girl, Teta, I slam my card also.
The player I have first. I go carry my uncle card to on a garage. The go put where or inside it. The whole car engine spawn.
I the same thing happening to me. I go buy one recycle oil, I put in my keke. Since then my keke just smoking jara mandingo koba.
So my people, you're not here about Sunoco American oil. They have oil for everything. Whether that pen, Tesla, dump truck, Caterpillar, motorbike, Jeep, keke. Their products include Sunoco Auto Transmission Fluid. They have Global and they also have CVT. Sunoco Engine Oil Ultra Synthetic Blend 5W30 and 20. Sunoco 15W40 and C50 monograde for both gasoline and diesel. Sunoco 0W20 full synthetic engine oil. And our engine oil can even clean your engine set. Their oil can take you for 3 months, 4 months, and 12 months. They have long-lasting auto-light spark plugs. That one can take you up to 3 years, no wahala. They have now opened a sophisticated garage with well-trained mechanics for diagnostic testing and for electronic fault correction. They do all types of vehicle servicing. You want to change your oil, spray your car, weather your car, you want to fix the air condition.
So where is this place located here?
River Street, AB Turbo Road. For order, contact Marketers Inc. 0880-535-508 or 0777-677-633. Make your engine happy. Use Sunoco oil. You got to make the change.
Your favorite RLJ Kennedy Resort and Villas is new and improved with top-notch first-class services guaranteed to make you feel pampered and special as our royal guests. Ideally located on the RI Highway, a few minutes drive from the rehab junction, right in front of the Atlantic Ocean, you are assured of a peaceful, serene atmosphere of a home away from home. The ingredients for our Liberian meals are freshly picked from our garden to give you that unforgettable taste of Liberian cuisine. Our villas are designed and equipped to ensure every night spent with us is a memorable one. We are well positioned to host conferences and seminars of all sizes, as well as outdoor events like garden weddings and parties. Book your upcoming events and leave the rest for us to handle with 100% satisfaction guarantee. You can reach us on 0770-533-415 or email us at reservations@kennejaresort.com.lr. Visit our website on www.rljkendejaresort.com.lr. RLJ Kendeja Resort and Villas, for memories worth repeating.
Good day and welcome to the Fact Check segment. This segment debunks disinformation and provides the verified facts of statements made online and on the radio. On May 26, former District 8 Representative Akaros Gray shared a 5-minute video which he captioned, "Former VP Bouakat encourages protesters calling for President Weah to step down." He claimed that it was former Vice President Joseph Bouakat at a Weah step-down protest guarded by state security. Gray made the claim while accusing President Joseph Bouakat of going after perceived opponents. The We Are Step Down campaign was a political protest movement organized by the Council of Patriots, an opposition group demanding the resignation of then-President George Weah. The protest was initially planned for December 30, 2019. However, the Liberian government, through the Ministry of Justice, denied the COP's request to hold the protest, labeling it as unconstitutional and treasonous. To verify the authenticity of the video posted by Mr. Gray, we conducted reverse image and keyword searches and found a Hot FM TV live video recorded on August 27, 2020. We found that the over 9-minute video was recorded when Mr. Joseph Bouakat visited an anti-rape protest scene at Springfield in Monrovia, where he was denied by organizers of the protest to make a speech on grounds that the protest was not political. Afrique Media also shared pictures from the event where Mr. Bouakat can be seen in conversation with journalists. We also found videos of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and Nobel Peace Prize laureate Lema Bowie at the same event in August 2020. Based on this, we conclude that a claim by former Representative Gray that a video he shared to Facebook indicating that it was President Bouakat at a Weah step-down protest in December 2019 is misleading. The video was recorded at day 3 of a 3-day anti-rape protest in Monrovia in August 2020. On May 27, Aloysius Howe, Special Assistant to former Finance Minister Samuel Twe and a supporter of the Opposition Congress for Democratic Change, claimed in a Facebook post that 7 out of 10 people in Montserrado are living in poverty. He further claimed that 8 out of 10 people in rural areas are affected by poverty. He cited the World Bank Liberia Poverty Assessment report as evidence to back his claim. To verify these claims, we reviewed the World Bank's most recent Liberia Poverty Assessment report published in March 2024, titled Liberia Poverty Assessment Report 2023 Towards a More Inclusive Liberia. According to the report, the poverty rate in Liberia is 3 out of 10 people, not 7 out of 10 as claimed by Howe. The report does confirm, however, that poverty is significantly worse in rural areas, where 8 out of 10 individuals were affected by poverty as of the year 2016. Based on the evidence gathered, we conclude that Howe's claim that 7 out of 10 people in Montserrado are living in poverty is incorrect. However, his claim that 8 out of 10 people are affected by poverty in rural areas reflects the World Bank's 2016 report, which is 9 years old. This is all we have time for on the Fact Check segment. This segment is part of an MOU between Local Voices Liberia, Orchid FM, Pram FM, and Kia Radio to counter disinformation to help the public make informed decisions. This MOU is funded by the Liberia Media Empowerment Project, implemented by Internews with funding from the European Union. The funder or partner had no say in the editorial decision leading to the production of this fact check segment. We will be back on Friday with more fact check reports to help you know the facts. If you want us to fact check or claim for you, please send us a text to WhatsApp on 0777-556-296 and we will definitely check for you. Also follow us on Facebook at Local Voices Liberia, X or Twitter at LVL Fact Check, and go to our website www.localvoicesliberia.com. I am Olivia Bawon. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.
And welcome back. Welcome to the OK Conversation on OKFM. OKFM 99.5. What can you say? Fact check was created to fact check against CDC. One side of fact check. No, if you write, the people that will write, or talk something, are the ones that are fact checked. If the thing is not true, the people will fact check you. They're not there to be against anybody. Okay, welcome. This is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. So the host knows stuff will also be part of the discussion with Gabriel Nyeka at 5 p.m. So we know that some people, employees of LPRC, have been found guilty, by Criminal Code C of economic sabotage. They did some very terrible stuff, and they've been found guilty, so they'll have to face the full weight of the law. We also know that Liberia's Minister of Finance and Development Planning, Augustine Gafuan, has been elected chair of Constituency 15 of the African Development Bank. And that group includes Liberia, Ghana, the Gambia, and Sierra Leone, and Sudan. He's the chair of that group. Okay, so, it is a good thing when these positive things happen for the country. It's a good thing. We know the president is in Nigeria, Lagos. That's where they're having the 50th anniversary of ECOWAS. Yep, he's there. Wish him all of the best, all of the very, very, very best. So, just to pass over this one, they'll move to the next two key things. This issue came up, I believe, from the weekend to present of over the death of former First Lady Madame Doe, and one of her daughters is alleged to have written a very strong worded statement in response to former President George Weah's tribute. So he had paid a tribute to Madame Nancy Doe. And in effect, she was saying that Mr. Weah should not make it appear like, everything was okay and all that kind of stuff. No, there were issues. That post later on could not be seen, but that there were issues. Issues of neglect, issues of, not behaving like the son of Doe that he should have been to them as a family. And of course, that became quite a talk of the time. Let me see if we can lay our hands on that. Let's go to former President Weah's tribute first. Let's read it. Let's read what she had to say, and let's draw some analysis therefrom. What she's alleged. There's a reason I'm saying alleged to have said. Then I will let you know when we come to the analysis part. Okay. So let's go to what he titles a statement of condolence following the death of former First Lady of the Republic of Liberia. Yeah. So on May 22, 2025, Mr. Weah wrote, I am deeply saddened by the passing of former First Lady Nancy B. Doe, who ended her earthly sojourn on Tuesday, May 20, 2025, after a period of illness. She will be remembered for her charitable endeavors and steadfast advocacy for women during the tenure of her husband, former President Samuel Kedo. Her loss resonates with me personally, given the pivotal role the former president played in my journey to become a professional football player. I vividly recall her towering presence and unwavering support for her husband's initiatives to promote football and bolster the national team. Even in her latter years, Madame Doe remained deeply committed to Liberia. She and her family closely followed the nation's progress in the decades following the Civil War, all while championing justice and peace. Her passing has left a profound void, not only for those who came to know her, such as myself, but for the entire nation. I extend my deepest condolences to the bereaved family and all those touched by her remarkable life. May her soul rest in eternal peace. His Excellency George Manneh Weah, former President of the Republic of Liberia. So when you read through this tribute, you notice he's paying the tribute because of her husband, the former president, the role that husband played in his life, George Weah, acknowledging that her role as a stateswoman, there's not a personal connection between the both individuals in the tribute paid. It seems to be a realistic tribute paid that doesn't really say how close both of them were. The first paragraph is clear. Should be remembered for charitable endeavors and steadfast advocacy for women during the tenure of her husband, former President Samuel Kedo. Her loss resonates with me personally, given the pivotal role the former president played in my journey to become a professional football player, period. I vividly recall her towering presence and unwavering support to her husband's initiative to promote football and bolster the national team. He doesn't say, when it came to her support to her husband, it was about football generally and the national team generally. When it comes to his personal connection, he links it with former President Doe. Sometimes when you're reading and you're listening to people, so he really doesn't establish a personal connection between him and her. He talks about later years how her family followed, the issues in the country and all of that. Yep. So it is a regular tribute that any of us would pay. Okay. So let's see what she says in response, which is attributed to her. Again, I'll keep saying attributed to her. Veronica Mami Doe. Your Excellency George Weah, thank you for your gracious sentiments regarding the passing of former First Lady Mrs. our mother, Nancy Bondo. We were somewhat surprised to learn of your deep sorrow, given how you treated her with such hostility at your first and last meeting when she humbly begged you not to sack her son at the port. Do you recall that First Lady photo op meeting you held with over 20 people assembled? You made her wait for you for over 8 hours, then publicly blamed her for both of your presidential defeats and insisted she alone could have suppressed the rumors about your marriage to me, Mami Doe. when she explained that I was already married and had never met you in my adult life. Yet you continue to belittle her as speaking foolishness, in quotation, and brusquely told her to get from here, man. And you call yourself mother. Your harsh voice reduced her to tears. Still crying, she begged you for mercy on behalf of her son because she supported the ruling party who hired him 3 years prior. Still crying, she begged you for mercy on behalf of her son because he supported the ruling party who hired him 3 years prior. Do you remember what you said to her? You told her not to worry about Junior because you said to matter with him man to man. In the years that followed, despite your chief of protocol always dropping the phone down on her and ultimately blocking her number, she still persisted. Rain or shine, for 6 consecutive years, she stood at the gates of the executive mansion only to be turned away year after year and time again. All she wanted to ask was what any first lady deserves: recognition of her 10-year service, her pension, and relief from 20-year-old pending cases, including the ECOWAS appeal. Incidentally, your own spouse is currently enjoying her full entitlement as a former first lady. Yes? Why you denied the first indigenous first lady her rights for 6 long years? Time will not permit me to mention my father's unwavering loyalty to you, an act of devotion you saw fit to ignore except when it suited your campaign sound bites. You sooner praised foreign backers than the very man who pulled you up by your bootstraps and made those same foreigners take notice of your God-given talent. Why did you hate him so much and yet he loved you too much? So please forgive our astonishment at your heartfelt condolences. It seems someone else must have drafted your letter, for it is hard to believe that, the man who silenced the cries for help, for justice now mourns your absence. Nevertheless, we acknowledge your unexpected sympathy. Let the Almighty God judge between you and her. Okay? So, clearly, there is an issue. If she actually wrote this, and why do I keep saying, and I've been trying to see if I could establish contact with her. There's a reason. When I go on the page, Veronica, this Julius it's not just, I can take my time to follow what is obtaining. So, I don't know if she manages this account or it's personal. This Veronica Mamindo that is taught to have written this piece. And if I can get her number, I've not been able to get it, it'll be okay. On this account, we are not friends. Sometimes when someone and you are not friends, you can see recent posts. But I know I'm seeing posts from 3 days ago, 5 days ago. I do not see any post about expression of sorrow for the loss of a mother. I don't see it on the account. I see Veronica do update a profile picture 5 days ago. That's a picture there. He doesn't say anything else. On May 8th, in 1980, SKD challenged the status quo and gave voice to the voice that she shared a post on somebody. On May 6th, she updated with the Liberian flag. On May 6th as well, she updated her profile with her father's picture. Then it doesn't mention anything about her mother's death. I don't see any post about it. 5 days ago, she shared something from Granger University Student Union, where one Vanny Saki from that group reads some of the insults from President George Weah to our late former First Lady, Madam Nancy B. Doe. This person was quoting from what she, Mami Doe, had written. Then 3 days ago, she wrote this. I can say without a doubt the love and support I and my family have received within the last few days from all Liberians everywhere have been nothing short of overwhelming. Thank you. Oh my God. The comments are hilarious and they have kept me in fits of laughter instead of tears. I know I have not been able to respond to each of you because there are so many, but please know I will do my best. I keep finding myself wanting to call my mom to tell her that she is truly loved and say, guess what, Mama, your voice has finally been heard and understood. Losing a mother as loving and generous as she was is indescribably hard, but I find peace in knowing she is now resting with a beloved husband by her side. And now the one person who always kept me under constant restraint is no longer here on this earth. Oh my goodness, I will now roar like a lion and I will continue to do so unapologetically every step of the way. My family, I will release the official burial plans for both of our parents with information on their final resting place in Zweju shortly. Once again, from the deepest part of my heart, thank you all so much for all the love. I love you. Okay, so that's what you see. That is the reason on the page. So if it is indeed her, good. First of all, again, when you go back to Mr. Weah's tribute, it doesn't look pretentious because it doesn't establish cordiality. It doesn't establish family shape. It doesn't establish intimacy. It doesn't establish strong ties with the former First Lady. It is a tribute that is paid to her because of the role of her husband in his life. So you can see from her writing that there were issues that were already brewing, may have already been brewing, whose details we may not know. We've heard from one side. We may not know from the other side because rarely does he speak to any of these allegations against him. So one, she makes us to understand that he has not been happy, allegedly, with the former First Lady. But before going to that point, there's an issue of, okay, is this when she should have spoken out traditionally and all of that? If you lose a loved one, sometimes people will say, if there are issues, you wait after burial and all of that. She is an adult. She knew exactly what her statement would do. So it actually brought deep politicization. Of course, the governing party and the Star Wars will use it very excellently. And that's not going to end. That's going to continue up to 2029. She understood all of that before doing it. How will Weah and his followers treat this? What impact does it play in Granger, a county that's always voted him? All of those things are there. But to the meat of the matter, she seems to establish that allegedly he has not been happy because a rumor came up that then Unity Party owner Ellen Johnson Sirleaf used very well against him, that he had married Doe's daughter, and he was like a reincarnation of Doe to go against the people of Nimba. And so 2005 election, he lost quite bigly in Nimba because of those. He didn't feel happy that, according to her, that Weah didn't feel happy that the mother did not come out quite clearly and to refute those allegations and all of that. But he had an opportunity to do that as well. So these lingering issues were there. It seems a huge portion of that family may have supported an opposition party against him. that's exactly what you will read in her post. That he had issues with the fact that her brother supported UP. There are allegations or there are claims that the mother too supported UP, and all those kinds of things. So it's like, okay, but I'm supposed to be those son, for example. Right? But if my own people will support another party against me, then I'm not considered one of those. They don't want me to succeed. They don't want me to be president. So the regular human feeling, human thought, the regular human way of treating things will be, okay, then let me distance myself from them and all of that. That's the impression you get from this post. And so because of that, after he became president, according to her post, was to say, okay, you didn't want me to be this, now I am. So why are you coming to me? And all of that, and the allegations of being treated with disdain. Will we ever know from his side what it was? Is it actually true that these things happen? And what could be his explanation? Sometimes I think he should be speaking to these kinds of things. Sometimes I think he should be speaking so that people hear his side, because the allegations are damning, they are damaging. No matter how it is said, whether it is to be politicized or whatsoever, they still count against him, and it is important for him to come out. As much as he may think he has his right to behave in a certain way or to do certain things to certain people and all of that, it is very necessary to come out. If this was written by her, his post clearly says they were not that close. But we'll see how that plays out. Sometimes you can't control what people do in their moments of grief. You can't control. They may blurt it out as it is, whether it is true or not. There are claims that Do Jin worked. Okay, so. There are claims that Do Jin worked throughout the Uyghur government. These claims are there. There are claims unverified that she was getting what she was supposed to get and all of that. Well, what is clear is up to present, no government has paid whatever case she won at ECOWAS to pay that money, millions of dollars. So that did not happen during his time. It hasn't happened yet. So that is that. We will see how it plays out. But in the course of human interactions, this is what I will always say. Without knowing the truth from the other end, I'll just make a generic statement. One, life is such that we have to live it with perspectives. When you become the bigger person, then more responsibility falls upon your lap to just make a whole lot of things right. If even people did not want you to be at a certain place or whatsoever, you should be able as a human to just see it that it is God's doing. People will say stuff, people will oppose, people will do all kinds of things in the course of life to prevent you from getting to a certain level, no matter how close they are to you. When you get there, you are there. It's God who took you there. So, there's no need to pay back. There's no need. It's to move on. Okay, we move on to the next point. Let's listen to this. Let's listen to this. It's always important to remind and recall things The second one, before we go to the final point.
And let me just first of all apologize to you for the tension we've created a few times, especially almost creating embarrassment for this country. As it relates to the speaker, the embarrassment we created to the government that got everybody confused, we want to apologize. But let me tell you why it happened. There is always a reason for these things. There's a common practice and the House of Representatives, even the entire legislature. Whenever you go through the first round of election, we await the second round to determine the speaker. And the issues of consensus, we await the second round to determine the speaker. We believe that whenever a speaker is from the party of the government, it makes our work easier. There will be not too much confrontation. The tension we created this few days emanated from one of our colleagues who felt that tradition to be changed. And remember in the 54th, Buffers Chamber, but then the speaker, the Union Party had more member than CDC did. But the fact that Buffers Chamber was a sedition, and moreover his party won the presidency, His Excellency former President George Manuel we decided to give the right to Buffers Chamber. There was no contention. Normally the president takes the speaker and the deputy falls in the opposition to balance the house. But under our regime, the 55th legislature, there were people who felt were smarter than us in terms of following the tradition. After we won the election, our president was waiting for the second round. Fortunately for all United Party branch Victorians, we called for a meeting and we told our fellow lawmakers. And this time around, this seat is for United Party. They said, no way. It can't happen. Because I get money more than you. I know more than you. I'm more sophisticated more than you. It can't happen. We forced to take the seat. It was on that basis that when we went to the election, we lost by 5 votes. I'd like to tell you this because I apologize for the tension created by us. But moreover, there was a reason. It was on that basis that we felt if our government will have an opposition speaker, it will suppress the success of the rest agenda. I'll be honest with you, no matter how you feel. It was on that basis that today we made victorious because we know the right agenda of the House is to have a speaker that will work along with the government.
Fellow Liberians, you listened to that? You listened to that? It's a confession, isn't it? Yeah. You know, somebody said truth is always truth, and it was still immutable. No matter where you put it, truth is what it is. And sometimes I just feel happy and okay when I am vindicated. When these things are happening and I am vindicated for being able to stand no matter what. The truth. The speaker, he was speaking at the weekend. He has revealed to you the truth of what happened, why they put the country through all of this. All of the allegations and issues raised. And this is not about sour grapes. And I want, since this thing happened, I've not really done analysis. There was not really any lesson learned. People say, people learn lesson 9. Nothing has changed. The law was not respected. Speaker will be removed again the same way. And people will ask them to resign. Mark my words on this 28th day. It was more or less like the same snow thing. You win the case, if you refuse, and blah, 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 and you resign. That's what they were clear. They were not going to sit on a kofa or whatsoever, and blah, blah, blah. They're not going back on the human. They're not going to respect any Supreme Court ruling. So nothing has changed. But the confession has come out clearly in open air. This one is not secret recording. Yeah, we have tradition, our legislature, but people felt they were smarter, they have more money, and this and that. So they want us by 5 votes. So that's why we had to do what to do, because we as government, we felt that we can't get opposition speaker to suppress the arrest agenda. Are these the claims that were told you, Liberians? Gova is corrupt. For me, I was expecting some kind of prosecution now. You know, when there are allegations of corruption and all those kinds of things, the guests are coming 4:30. When those things are there, there should have been prosecution. I thought some kind of investigation to prosecute him for all these allegations of conflict of interest and corruption and blah, blah, blah. But the reason is clear to you now. That's the kind of country we want to run. We put ourselves through unnecessary strife for a very long time. You know, God has a way of still revealing things as they should be revealed. And this is not about being against anybody. No. It is about building a nation of truth, of honesty, a kind of consciousness that allows us to do things in the right way. It should have been clear, and our government said, no, we even though there's man one, but we still feel that we can work with him. We don't want him. Rather than creating unnecessary problems and unnecessary claims just for a job title. And these precedents are terrible because they will come back to haunt us in the very near future. If, for example, another party wins 2029 and someone from the opposition is the speaker, no matter how friendly that person is with the government, and they want to decide, say, well, we want our own man there, we will go through the same thing. And we're growing older, and we still cannot do the right things. Where all the political analysts and former lawmakers and blah, 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 and all these lawyers and whatsoever, all these people who are talking, where are they? What have they said? Where are the churches? Where are the mosques? This is serious. This is a serious thing. If it were other times, it would not have been taken lightly. I've been waiting to see what somebody would have said about this confession that has come out. But everybody just sits and looks as if it's okay. People so scared, so timid. What are you afraid of to speak truth? Somebody will suppress you. What much do you need to live? What can a human being really do to you? Some of us with nothing to our names. We're still able to sit and take on these high and mighty people of means. Nothing. What can somebody do to you? It's to kill you? That's it. Everybody will eventually die. So, what is the fear? Suppress your business, suppress your whatsoever, suppress you or this and that see you as this, they cause you to tell you. What haven't they written and said about some of us? If the voice was loud yesterday, it has to be loud today. Even if it wasn't loud, it has to start getting loud. Because these machinations are always around to derail progress being made in the country. And the level at which we should experience our democracy, we're not going to get it. Because of these underhanded deeds. If you supported all of these, do you bow your head in shame now? But it's okay. Hopefully, you have what you wanted. hopefully the nation benefits better. Finally, so the General Auditing Commission has been releasing some reports. Very interesting, right? Very, very interesting audit reports have been released. I don't know if we may not be able to put it up. I don't know if our guy has it set up, but there is a report titled the Auditor General's Report on the Compliance Audit of the Payroll of the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs for the periods ended March 31, 2024. Now, the previous CDC administration at the Ministry of State employed over 700 people on what they call supplementary payroll. They didn't go through the necessary civil service processes. Some of them didn't apply, nothing, they just brought them in to make them to start working to pay them. Now, former president, we are told Abraham Lincoln on his show then at Freedom that he had to do it because he had to encourage them to do it because people were suffering and to give the people something to do, to find them something to do as Liberians, to earn a living and blah, blah, blah. That was his justification. But they did not follow the processes that were required to. So they put it on supplementary payroll. They were not civil servants. They were supplementary workers doing different things, gardeners, securities, and all kinds of different. So they were being paid. The new government came in and decided, oh, no, this is wrong. This is taking money away from the government. So we have to put you people down. Yeah, you all have to go. You remember the case of those 700 people and all the noise that came, the small noise that came, it's not major. And they were put down. The processes were not followed and all of that. So the GSC did an audit from the weird period to so the new government to January 22, 2024. So February 22, March 22. So 2 months, 1 week of the new government time is part of this audit, plus the old government's employment. So we all know they didn't do it the right way. They didn't employ the people the right way. They employed them the wrong way and blah, blah, blah. And the new government said, we have to make this right. You did it wrong. So the audit report establishes that the past government did it very wrong. Wrong, bad way, wrong. Right? So let's read this letter in the beginning part of the audit report. So this audit report was is for the period up to March 31, 2024. It was released 2025. It was published on their stuff year 2025. It was released in December 2024. That is the president might have got it, the legislature, out of that. But it was published in 2025. If I go back to the page, I will see exactly the date. Let me go there before I come back to these ones. We want to be exact with everything. So general auditors, blah blah blah. It was really it was published on January, February, March, April 21, 2025. It was published. Good. So let me go back to the letter. The Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives and the Honorable President Pro Tempore of the Liberian Senate. That's what they call transmitter letter. We have undertaken a compliance audit of the supplementary payroll system of the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs for the periods July 1, 2018 through March 31, 2024. The audit was conducted in line with Section 2.1.3 of the General Auditing Commission GSC Act of 2014. Findings conveyed in this report were formally communicated to the authorities of the MOS for their responses. The reported issues were submitted through a management letter. Where responses were provided, they were evaluated and were incorporated in this report. Given the significance of the matters raised in this report, you hearing that? We urge the Honorable Speaker and members of the House of Representatives and the Honorable Pro Tem and members of the Liberian Senate to consider the implementation of the recommendations conveyed in this report with urgency. With what? Urgency. Given the significance of the matter, begins the sentence, given the significance of the matters raised in this report, and it ends with this phrase, with urgency. Consider the implementation of the recommendation with urgency. Please, help me. Have you heard anything from the House or the Senate? Have you seen any urgent action on this other report since they got it? Because in December, it was finalized and everything, and they will have got it. Okay, this transmitter letter is dated March 2025. So obviously they got it in March 2025. Have you seen any action yet? No. But that's okay. So, like I stated, you have to remember. We're being very, very, very fair. You have to remember that I told you the previous administration employed people on supplementary payroll, and this was confirmed by President. We had just give the poor something to do just so they can be able to take pay and blah blah blah. So he quote unquote soft hat was what they applied to employ people. They didn't do it the right way. They did it the wrongest of ways possible. People, a whole lot of them, there was no application letter form. They didn't go through any processes. They just brought them in and they started to work and they put on supplementary payroll and they were paying them. They didn't do it the legal way. They didn't do it the CSA mandated way. They didn't do it the PFM mandated way. Anything that should have been followed was not followed. It is established. And this was confirmed by the previous president. So the current administration says, no, you will go. We have to make it right. What have they done? So, in 1.1.13.3 of the Auditor General's report, it says observation. During the audit, we observed the following irregularities associated with the close-out exercise of the supplementary staff. Close-out is the time they were sending out, they were putting down these people now. The personnel listing used for the close-out exercise contained 721 personnel. A reconciliation between the personnel listing for the close-out exercise and the regular supplementary personnel listings provided for audit purposes revealed several staff on one listing were not included on the other, and vice versa. We observed 19 personnel on the close-out listing that were not included on the regular supplementary personnel listings, and 23 staff of the regular supplementary personnel listings were not included on the close-out listing. They put all those details there. A variance of US $4,537.69 was observed between the gross salary per the close-out payroll and the gross salary per the personnel listing for the periods. Severance benefits disbursed to 647 laid-off contractors during the close-out exercise were computed at 2 months of the last month's salary of the contractors, contrary to Chapter 14, blah, 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 of the Decent Work Act of. So what are they saying? They say 647 people, instead of giving them 1 month pay, to give them that full 1 month, they gave them out of the 1 month 2 weeks pay. Yeah? Let's move on. We observed, so they were putting the people down. Instead of doing a 1 month computation, they did 2 weeks. We observed that 74 staff with the total unpaid arrears and severance benefits amounting to US $76,440 were not paid during the closeout exercise due to lack of evidence to authenticate the legitimacy of their employment. Listen, you, 74 human beings were not paid because, according to the ministry, they didn't show evidence that they were working. And there were people who were working at the ministry of the 74 human beings. They were supposed to be paid $76,440. They did not pay them because, according to the Ministry of State, they could not show evidence that they were working. However, we observed no evidence that the unpaid checks were voided and the amount retained in the entity's account as required. According to the GAC, there's $76,000 where they did not pay the people. The GAC says they did not see evidence that they when they say they voided, they make the check empty. They say, okay, the check here, we invalidate it and we're putting the money back into the entity's account. They didn't see evidence that there's money that they did not pay the people who they were supposed to pay, but they say they didn't have evidence that these people work. There's 76,000 plus. We did not see where it went. It did not go back to the place it was supposed to go because we see evidence that the checks were voided and that the money was returned. Let's make progress. Risk. The completeness and accuracy of salaries and severance benefits disbursed during the closeout exercise may not be assured. The GSC is speaking of the risk now. Therefore, salaries and severance benefits disbursed may be misstated. Severance benefits for laid-off contractors may be inaccurately computed, non-compliant with Chapter 14 of the Decent Work Act of 2015. Unpaid severance benefits for laid-off contractors may be subjected to misapplication and misappropriation. These are the risks established by the GSC. So what do they recommend? Management should account for the variances identified between the personnel listing and the closeout payment listing. Management should also account for the unpaid arrears and severance benefits for the 74 laid-off contractors, casual employees cataloged in Appendix 5D below. Management should recompute the severance benefits of the laid-off contractors, casual employees consistent with the law and facilitate retroactive payments where applicable. So, if they should go back, calculate, if they pay someone with 2 weeks' money where they're supposed to pay them 1 month, they should pay that person remaining money. They should go back, calculate, and pay. The GSC recommended, they wrote a letter to the legislature say they should pursue this thing because of the urgency. Going forward, management should ensure that all contractors, casual employees who are employed on a regular and systematic basis for a sequence of periods of employment should, during a period of 6 months, should be given the right to choose instead to become a full-time or part-time employee within 4 weeks of the employee having been so engaged for a period of 6 months consistent with the law. All unpaid salary should be remitted to GOL consolidated accounts as required. Those people, you people did not pay. Where we did not see where the money went, you put that money back in GOL consolidated account. Management should perform monthly reconciliation between the personnel listing and the approved payroll. Variances identified should be investigated and adjusted where applicable in a timely manner. Evidence of monthly approved payroll journals, personnel listing, monthly reconciliation between the personnel listing and the approved payroll, evidence of remittance of unpaid salaries to the consolidated accounts, and all other supporting records should be adequately documented and filed to facilitate future review. Now, let's listen to the management's response because these are serious claims and the GSC will ask the management, what you say about this thing that we say? Management's response. Management acknowledges a recommendation. That's all. They said they acknowledge all that thing GSC thought. They said they acknowledge. No explanation for why. Why you pay the people and the money we can see where it went? Why it didn't go back to where it's supposed to go? Where is the money? All that thing the GSC thought. They said they acknowledge. So GSC Auditor General, we acknowledge management's acceptance of our findings and recommendations. We will follow up on the implementation of our recommendations during subsequent audit. That's why the GSC passed it over to who? The legislature to do the oversight. Let's make progress. Another observation. 1.1.14.6. During the audit, we observed the following irregularities associated with the hiring and management of the newly hired supplementary personnel. So 700 plus supplementary people were put down. They didn't go through the actual processes and all of that and blah, blah, blah. And issues with their putting down. So we are here now. We are a new government in the space of January 22 to March 31. Just 2 months. 2 months, 1 week. In the space of 2 months, 1 week. Because that's the time this audit ended. Let's see what happened. No evidence that management developed policy to regulate the hiring and management of supplementary personnel. The total number of supplementary staff in this category were 74. They hired new people between January and March 31, 74, with total monthly gross salaries amounting to US $36,367.50. They hire new people whose salary every month will be $36,000. If you did that over a yearly period, that's close to $500,000 to go to new supplementary workers. However, the management did not develop, according to the GAC, a policy to regulate the hiring and management of supplementary personnel. Further, several of the personnel on the personnel listing did not have records of assigned departments, employee identification numbers, NIR as required by the structure of the personnel listing for easy verification and monitoring purposes. These newly hired people that we are supposed to do right now, GSC noticed that they did not have records of assigned department. Which department the person with? In no day. Employee identification number, in no day. NIR, in no day. We move. No evidence that management complied with the standing orders for the civil service of 2012. We observe no evidence of written request to the Director General of the CSA containing the titles, the statement of the duties and responsibilities, salaries, as well as the tenures of the positions to be filled prior to the hiring of the 74 supplementary personnel of MOS as required. The government came to do it right, to do it better. Just Joe guys all over the place, and he's talking about what didn't work well and putting people down and supplementary people. But we've come and we're new. Just in the space of those 2 months and 1 week, 74 human beings are employed. And nobody wrote a letter to Josiah Jokai, or CSA, to say, oh, we want to employ other people with those titles. This is what they're supposed to do, their salaries and blah, 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 and tenure position. Nothing. According to the GSC, they did not see. The GSC did not see. Shortly the guys will come. The GAC did not see. Yeah. No evidence that management facilitated competitive recruitment of the supplementary personnel through the CSA. No evidence that these people here, they pass through CSA to come. And we're supposed to do it right now. Yeah, let's make progress. No evidence that management budgeted and included salary expense for the new supplementary personnel as a unique line item in the entity's approved budget. No, it is not there in the budget. Say, oh, there's money here that will pay supplementary people. Salary expense for the supplementary personnel was financed by transferring money from line item consultancy in the approved budget. So money for consultancy, for consultants that they pay, they were transferring that money from to pay the people. No evidence that the reallocation of the fund was approved by the Deputy Minister of Budget and the Civil Service Agency as required. No evidence of an approved salary structure for the supplementary personnel to regulate the allocation and payment of salaries. Salaries were allocated and adjusted for newly hired supplementary personnel without evidence of approved salary structure or adoption of the GOL harmonized pay grade. Several salaries and positions on the new supplementary staff payroll could not be traced or found on the GOL harmonized pay grade. Let's make progress. Several positions for the newly hired supplementary staff were not within the MOS job description policy document. They get policy document for what kind of job you're supposed to do. But we go check inside all the work they put doing. They get a person the title. It doesn't exist. But they get title and they're working. No evidence that supplementary personnel salaries were approved by the relevant authority and communicated to the personnel during the time of employment. The 74 newly hired supplementary staff were not available for physical verification during the audit. Amen. The 74 newly hired supplementary staff were not available for physical verification during the audit. No evidence that management maintained personnel line files for the 74 newly hired supplementary staff. What is the risk? Failure to adequately develop, approve, and operationalize policy and procedures to regulate the hiring and management of supplementary personnel may lead to arbitrary decisions. This may lead to non-compliance with applicable laws and regulations and may impair the achievement of the entity's objectives. Management may be non-compliant with Regulation E82C of the PFM Act of 2009 as amended and restated 2019 for failure to budget for supplementary personnel under a unique line item or obtain approval, blah, blah, blah. The rates are there. The recommendations are also here. I want to go to the management's response. These grave issues, the management response is management acknowledges a recommendation. Now, no argument. We acknowledge a recommendation. What does the Auditor General say? We acknowledge management's acceptance of our findings and recommendations. We will follow up on the implementation of our recommendations during subsequent audit. Further, regarding the issue of the unverified 74 newly hired supplementary personnel, we requested management to arrange subsequent verification exercise for the unverified personnel as of the time of responding to the audit management letter. However, management did not facilitate the availability of the staff for subsequent verification exercise. Hence, we were unable to verify the physical existence of the 74 newly hired supplementary personnel during the time of this report. Management should facilitate post-physical verification of the unverified 74 newly hired supplementary personnel within 90 days of the issuance of the Auditor General's report to the National Legislature or discontinue disbursements subsequently to the 74 newly hired supplementary personnel. Amen, Liberia. It was not okay. It was critiqued. These other people were put down. They were dismissed. Some were not dismissed properly, given what they deserved. And you were supposed to do it right. And you assumed the authority of state. And you did the very same things. The very same things for which you put other people down. And that the GSE could not even physically see all the 74 human beings you employ within the space of 2 months. And you have your lawmakers, they're setting up Capitol Hill as if everything is okay. And sometimes you don't want me to blast opposition people. That Darius Dillon is supposed to be taking other GSE people to be running with it. Eh? What kind of people are you? Why do we treat this country like this? Everybody's in as if everything is okay. Okay, let's do a few calls. Our guests are here. They'll come in shortly. 777-700-995, 555-995. I'm just on a GSE and I download all kind of other people. I just watch. We are. 777-700-995, 555-995, the numbers to call. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Julius J. This is journalist of Tavin Williams.
Go ahead.
I'm constrained to call. And the reason I'm constrained to call is because of the points you made. And there are some serious points, but I want to tell you a lesson learned from Dr. Bremer family, HB. During the days of President Sullivan, I was so radical, he knew that. I went to prison for like about 5-7 times because of being a radical journalist. And I was just sitting one day that the family called me Mama Point, old CID where he used to live. And he said to me, he said, Williams, I said, yeah, Dad. He said, the masses you see, they are very ungrateful people. He said, it is not because of the mercy of the Madam Adman age. I was never ever going to be able to afford in building a house. Then he went further, how he denied a lot of opportunities because he wouldn't understand for the masses. But remember when Bacchus Matthew died, and it was not because Bacchus Matthew had just joined the CDC. He was going to be buried like a dog, D-O-G, or in bold letter. I'm sorry for using the word. But sometimes some of us that live our lives in advocacy, you know, so now even on the radio people because they are my helper. There was a situation with the guy that had the Pillar Construction Company. When he invaded unlawful people around, was the iron factory and what Tigusu factory, somewhere around there, he said the swampland was his. And I wrote a story and that man took me to Saw Beach. Few days ago, somebody called me to the restaurant where they put in battery factory that they were being invaded illegally. I told them, look, I was just kidding myself when I like people. I mean, even you that sit on the radio, I do not have that effort no longer to wake up to go on radio in the afternoon, knowing that every afternoon I have to go on radio. Just to do that, the job we choose to do as journalists is to serve humanity. But even our people, when you criticize the right way, they come against you like they come up with war because they are paid by somebody petty or because they're in the interest of somebody petty. Look, and the first line of people that can fight us, our own friends. I
we'll continue to do what we can do. But thanks so kindly. Tomorrow we'll advance on this. Let's take a few more calls. Our guests are here. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Julius, good afternoon.
Go ahead.
And I always thank you for taking my call. Are you sure? Let me say.
What's your name?
Lorenzo Prince Boga from the Rafi Highway. You know, Julius, like we said, we suffer to bring this government to power. And when we used to transport ourselves from here to go to AFP office in Nepestown, the Oro, free of charge. We did everything all by ourselves just to make sure that this government come to power because we thought we were making a change. And we label ourselves as the rescue team. Jesus, we came to power to rescue. But sometimes when you hear some of these reports, then you tend to wonder as to whether you came to rescue or you came to do something different. And this country is becoming like a hand pump. Julius, if you go on the hand pump as a kid, you see one man get 10 gallons and you complain, when the man won't bring 10 gallons, one the man will finish pumping. But if you look right behind the man with the 10 gallons, you get another person there with 11 gallons. And when you start to pump and you start to complain, you say, oh, you never saw the other man who brought 10 gallons, I only my own 11 gallons, you see? And that's how the Congress is turning into. Jesus, we need to make the change. We told people from there because we said they did not go through the referral processes. Now we put people there, and like the other people did not even exist because the GSC people say that they didn't see the people.
They didn't see the people. Then they asked and said, before we publish the report, we want to see the people. They stayed in the GSC to see the human beings. 74 human beings.
So who are those people that you employ?
That getting more than $36,000 every month.
And just 70 some person. So if you divide that 36,000 by 70 some person, you know how many dollars each person making? Julius, as compared to the civil servant who is a legitimate employee of government.
Okay.
It's unfortunate, man.
Thanks so kindly. Welcome. Let's hear you. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Quickly.
Thank you. Always, Jesus, for the opportunity. Let me speak to you. That's why always you guys, we do not.
Your line is bad. Is it very bad?
You see me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I said thank you much for the opportunity always. I said that's why we all are panicking to get you because very difficult. But I always say this to you. No, you always it's not a joke. If
I think you should shift your location a little. I'm trying to bear patience to hold you on, but it keeps cracking up.
But you get me now? They already we need to sue the only company. They rather suffering people already in the city. See what already in the city they can.
Terrible. I'll let you go. Sorry. Welcome. Let's hear you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Thank you so kindly. My own big brother and close ally impression of Big Brother Julius. Big Brother Julius, before I come to the talking point, let me hear you small from I don't know why we the Manchester United people you always there to beat on and you know we are your big brother. But fast forward to the issue, right? Big brother, let me say this, right? Mr. Weir as a president, he is not grateful. And this is one of the new problems I've been having with Mr. Weir. And at the time, Mr. Weir is very discriminated and he is doing and that was the action, right? Come in Gibraltar, you see the project Mr. Weir carry on for the people and left we that are not residing in Gibraltar. That is discrimination. You don't rule the country like that, right? Looking at the what the kind of services at the time, the goodwill that the former president will render to Mr. Weir, and looking at his work that he left over, and this woman tirelessly cried to you, Mr. Weir, for help, for her benefit, and other allowances. Mr. Weir, for God's sake, why you couldn't help this woman? Until the woman died, you can't in her. I think that's what you let it. But I let the way mommy do can in. To conclude, Big Brother Julius, to conclude, the information that, because you just reading, that's not something that I can't really just believe what you just read from NOMOS.
And you using internet?
Yeah.
Go on the GSC website. The report is there, yeah. Then you read it. Then tomorrow, then you can call. Since you can't just believe it, I'm telling you where it is, yeah.
Okay.
No, but you can conclude again. How many times you say you can't just believe it because I'm reading. So I'm sending you where it is. When you go read it, then you come. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Julius, how you doing?
I'm fine. Go ahead.
You know, I won't believe in anything before. Let's get to it.
Second to last. Yeah, let's do it quickly. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to speak to the severance issues. The Eric right here. It's how is it possible that those people they're talking about, is it that they cover the 6-year period or that 1 year they work for? Because to pay someone the severance that I'm talking about, they pay 2 weeks severance.
According to the GSC, it is calculated over. They did the calculation over a 2-week period in the month. So whether it was for the full, some of them was 1 year, some 2 years, some 3, some 4, some 5, some 6. Yeah.
According to the decent one, once you pay severance each year is 1 month.
Yeah. So apparently, the way the report looks, it is like rather than it being 1 month pay of each of the years, they were doing it for more than 600 people, 2 weeks.
That's the problem right there.
And then they didn't pay another group of people, and then because they say they could not show evidence that it worked. And according to the GSC, that money has not gone back to the government. Where is it? No evidence.
You see the problem in this country? Look, you can't come to rescue and you continue to make the life of people difficult. We listen to the press secretary and even the deputy minister at state where they say, in fact, the payroll was over. I mean, you had too many people on payroll. All of a sudden, you redundant those people. You fail to give them their just benefit. Then I heard you talking about someone, some more person. Those are ghosts.
In the space of 2 months, 1 week, they employ 74 people as supplementary workers. So just imagine up to present now what it will be.
What it is like. But interestingly, that's the only 4 individuals we're talking about. There is no record of their employment. There's no file for that effect. There is absolutely no record that the GSC can cut off. Those are ghosts. Those are not individuals.
Thanks so kindly. I will post what I was reading after this show so you will see for yourselves. Post the link to the GSC report on their website as well. The final call. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good afternoon, Julius.
Yes, go ahead. Let's hear you.
This is Joe D'Souza, and I join you from the community. So, Julius, I was just seated from last week or from the weekend up to now. I was thinking whether the House of Representatives speaker issue would not have been touched or discussed. But thank you so much for bringing it to the spotlight, Julius. Like the people usually say, the truth and not hard. Thankfully, the elected Liberian people, we want to call on the GSC if need be to conduct a serious investigation and let Speaker Richard Combs be perpetrated or let him rest the ever used during the crisis of the House of Representatives. Thank you for the opportunity, Julius.
Thanks so kindly for your call as well. That's how we do it here, and we'll continue to play the role we are to play to reveal these things. You know, this report has been on the GSC website. It has been there, and sometimes you really wonder what. Anyways, it's okay. Our guests are here. We go over to them. We have with us the St. Peter, that's St. Peter High School. On the Bannersville Road, we have Anita B.S. Joffe, an acting member. No, a member can be acting. Not a member. So, Chris Doe as the acting president. Yeah, the positions can be acting. Welcome, Mr. Acting President.
Thank you, sir.
Of the St. Peter's High School.
Association.
Good. Please focus on the microphone. Good. Let's go to Madam Anita B.S. Joffe, welcome as well.
Thank you, Julius.
Okay, so Mr. Doe, give us an idea. When you graduated from St. Peter's?
Okay, I'm Chris Doe, acting president of the St. Peter's and Women Association. I graduated 2010, 2011 on a cool Sunday.
You said you graduated 2011?
Yeah, 10, 11.
Ah, okay. Good. That was like 13, 14 years ago. Yeah, wow. And how has it been since then?
Okay, things been good for us. We've been out of the place, went to school, came back, tried to bring back our alumni association for the first ever, because we haven't introduced any alumni association ability since we were in the school.
So this is the first formation of the alumni association.
Yes, sir.
You have produced a whole lot of people. So let's hear your story as well. Anita Joffy, you are acting member.
Anyway, my name is Anita B.S. Joffy. In school, I was using Anita BCA.
Oh, you are married now?
I'm mistress now.
Yeah, Mrs. Joffy.
Yeah, I'm Mistress Joffy. Yeah. So...
Which year did you graduate?
I graduated 1998-99 school year with the class of Kojito Ekazam.
So that St. Peter's School is an old school?
It's a very old school in Candlesfield there.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so I graduated in 1998-1999. And then after then, we decided to come together to have our first homecoming. Because since we left school, we noticed that people being all over and nobody waiting to come back home to give at least thank you to the school where we came from, our roots. So we thought it wise to come together. And while deciding to come together, we went and met Chris. Chris, who is now the acting president. We met Chris and we decided to put this thing back together this come September.
Okay, the people say you should lift up your caps more so they can see your face.
Okay. This come September, last September, we decided to put this whole alumni association together. And then we started working from there. And Chris being the acting president of that, from that time, we started working along with him because we noticed that we from St. Peter's, looking at our school, where we from.
Is it still existing?
Yeah, it's existing.
Okay.
But in line of the population the school has now, it break our hearts. Because where we came from, and look at how the school is
looking. That school used to be packed.
It used to be very packed, you know, after school, like on the Bannerville Road there, when you see students in the green and yellow.
I know that's why even our own Olive Stevenson graduated from, right?
Yeah, Olive graduated from St. Peter's.
So I'm very much aware.
Yeah. So we are happy to be back, and we are going back Friday and Saturday.
Okay, let's remain with you to tell us about the program before I come to hear about the different initiatives people intend to undertake. Yeah.
Okay.
Tell us about the program. When is it?
Okay, the upcoming alumni days are Friday, which is the 30th, and Saturday, which is the 31st. Friday, firstly, we decided to have this program because looking at where the school comes from and where it is now, it breaks our hearts. Because when we talk about population, when we did the survey, we went to the campus and did the survey, we noticed that most students are not in school. And most of the schools, the furniture and things in the school, they are not well equipped. They're not to the standard of modern day school, you know. So we thought it wise, why can't we come back and put our hands together and help to augment the effort the school is making so we can help. And then everybody thought it was that, yes, this is good. Let's come back. Let's come and feed at home. Let's feed something at home. And then we decided to have this first meeting. And this meeting was here in October, the second Sunday. And there was a huge output. Everybody showed interest. Everybody showed the desire of coming back home. So then we decided now to have the day. And then everybody decided to have this day in March. But when March came, due to the payment plan and other things, we couldn't reach March. So we decided to send to May. And today we are here. So May 30th, we're going to be on the campus by 10 o'clock, where we'll be having the indoor service and a fundraising program where we have indoor program where we have people coming to talk about the time they were in school. We have program, we have how they call it, donation going to be made. When our sister says she's going to donate to the school, when our sister says she's going to launch a program because she graduated from the school, she's going to have a launch a program. And then from there, we have a march or parade from the school campus along the Japan Freeway and go back to the school campus. We'll be celebrating that whole day. Then on Friday, we're going to go back to the Steventon Estate sports page where we'll have the football game and the kickball game. And it's going to be all day activities.
Okay.
So, for the 2 days.
So Thursday is the indoor program.
No, Friday.
Friday is the indoor program.
Friday.
And then Saturday is the sports day. Are you playing games against which other schools?
We wrote so many schools for Noah Art Center, and they said they're going to be with us.
And they are just around you people.
Yeah,
there.
they're just next door of us.
Okay.
So we're going to be having kickball and football. You know, I play kickball while in school. I play kickball before, and we're going to try ourselves again.
Do you exercise regularly?
Yeah, I
you play
exercise.
kickball again?
I exercise regularly.
I want to see you running.
You see me that day. Gonna be live.
Okay, Chris. She mentioned about the school now, how it is. Are there any plans that the Alumni Association is having to be involved with the school in its upliftment, in trying to enhance what is happening there?
Okay, that's good because we are the Alumni Association.
Yeah, you can come closer to the mic.
We are the Alumni Association. We decided to uplift the school, definitely because what my coach just said, our school have been falling and always down. We saw schools having an Alumni Association committee. We saw some parade. We felt jealous. Actually, when we went to the school, we asked the proprietor, son, for help, at least to uplift the school. Actually, he was like, I can say, hiding our dreams. Yes, because when we had a meeting with him, his thought was, maybe you want to take back the school for him or something else. But he missed our point. And our point was getting our school back. We don't have no school or high school that we graduated from. We graduated from St. Peter's, always St. Peter's. You can stay on the road. Up to now, when I was even doing the communication to Noah asked for the friendly match with us in our Alumni game, I felt bad because we have students, teachers from Alumni, from Noah Arts that graduated from St. Peter's. At that time, we don't know what Noah Arts was going to be today. Yes, so when I gave the letter to them, they accepted. Came back to me, they said they were going to turn up to us on the Saturday, May 31st at Stephen STF. I said, that's good. But they were like, Kieran, we're coming back to our school. And definitely, they are from St. Peter's because they graduated from St. Peter's too. Yes, they are teaching. They are there. The principal for Noah Art taught St. Peter's High School and all. And I know it would just be a fun. But our point of coming back to that school is to uplift the school as an Alumni Association to make sure our dreams come true.
Okay. Now let me come back to you. What are some of the things you noticed that you think are not so okay that need the intervention of the Alumni Association? That's her.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay, for one, what we noticed is that St. Peter's on the Banove Road had a highest number of students those days. We're talking about those days in the 90s, the 2000s. The high number of students. But up till now, you hardly see students from St. Peter's wearing that green and yellow. So it came to our attention that we need to go back. What's the cause? And one of the causes could be is that we notice is that the teachers are not satisfied. Teachers are not satisfied in classroom because the students are not encouraging. You go to teach me 5, 6 students. You feel happy or 10?
Wow.
Yeah, so you're not feel happy. So we need to do awareness to those who's around us there that we can go to people that were in the school, talk to them, encourage the students to they post something. I think the upliftment of the school, the outside part of the school, that would be something that people will say, yeah, I need my child to go to the school. You see? Because it broke us down. Ready? When I went back home, I felt like I started crying. I wept. Because why? School that I graduated from, going down the drain it make me to feel too bad. Other schools nowadays, you see, they are no more. How it started. So we decided to come together and put things together. Let's work together to make our school a vibrant one. Let's work together. Alma mater. That what we graduated from. That I got my first diploma from. I came just a full learning CBT to just go there. So we thought it wise to come back. In my class, the class of 1998-99, they bought the idea and they said, yes, Anita, you go back. Y'all go back. We that are there, y'all go back. Those are there, y'all rally together and let's meet and discuss on this. And we started discussion, and today we are here today. So that means there's a progress. With all the other classes, there's a progress. And as we speak, the number of chat rooms, the number of messages we're having is impressive. So I know that day we're going to raise something good to help the school, to give the school a facelift again.
Okay, let's open the lines and see if we can hear from some of your colleagues out there. 777-700-995, 555-995-995. St. Peter's people, yeah, let's hear from you. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good evening, Julius.
Okay. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Julius, this is Eric J, and I call you from District 17. But let me say sorry. I was calling on your previous program, but I was very constrained.
No. So we only talking in the St. Peter business now. Yeah, only St. Peter thing talking. Sorry. Only St. Peter's thing. We're not. Tomorrow when we come back to that topic, we can go there. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Oh, yes. Good evening, Julius. How are you?
Fine. Go ahead.
I think my colleagues in there. I graduated from St. Peter's 2006, and I want to join my voice to the voices, for us to come together, see how best we can support our institution.
Okay.
That's our alma mater. We know.
So will you be there on that day?
Yeah, by the grace of God, personally, I work at MCLS and we are using our campus for WAP, so I'll be free. I pray to be there that time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Which year did you graduate?
2006.
Way about.
Yeah, 2006 I graduated.
Yeah, way back, man. Okay.
Adam Bob Chikwu was our principal.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks so kindly. This person says the owner of St. Peter's School's name is Mr. Kwansai Ghanaian, who I'm told is now blind. I attended the school in the 70s, elementary, before leaving for Sierra Leone. Helena Nasami says that. Okay. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you so kindly. My own big brother and Allah.
Are you an alumni of St. Peter's?
No, but I want to make an input now, big brother.
Why you want to in the post school thing? Go ahead, let me hear you.
Yeah, big brother, don't be treating me like this.
But I'm treating you anyway. I beg you, please start the thing talk. You want talk.
You my Allah. Don't be
my
treating
man,
me like
I'm not Allah to anybody. I beg you, go ahead. I owe your fool.
Okay. Thank you for the joke. Brother, to admit, St. Peter Lutheran School is a very nice school on our Somalia job. At the time when I was living on the Somalia job, I was living talking today around that blue continuum where Madam Ole Stephen lives. And I will look forward one day to meeting her there. So I was attending, but then I was attending the Sekou Ibrahim Sherry School. That was my first year. And I have a variable at the time in St. Peter Lutheran School. And the variable was like encouraging me to attend the school. But after, our own people there religiously, they were not really wanted at the time for all to go to Christian school. They wanted all to be in the it was of later that I even attended the regulation SVA. But then my PA as part of from that time, right? So I'm only saying this to see that St. Peter Lutheran School is a very nice school.
Are you going to attend their program?
Yeah. If the chance is given me, I will. Because
okay.
Of that variable.
Thanks so kindly. Don't call free on the people program. Go there. Thanks so kindly.
Nope. Okay.
Go there. You say you have variable there before. Social variable. When you talk about variable, that girlfriend, my people, I would not understand. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you, Julius.
What's your name?
But why the previous caller is wasting our time?
My man, leave it. Toyo. The man talking. The man gone. Toyo. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Okay, this is Archiviko Do, and I call from my Gary Street office. I must appreciate my colleague Anita in there and the item president for the job well done.
and the effort and time put into place to bring together alumni of the St. Peter's High School. You will have our support. We are going to be there on Friday. We're going to be there on Saturday. And I just want to appreciate you people, for the time.
Okay, thanks so kindly. Let's take more calls. Let's see who's right here. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah, welcome.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the topic this evening. Actually, I'm enjoying the conversation. You know, I entered CPD from the 7th grade up to the 10th grade. But as I was in school at that time, when school all came in, imagine when Public School was the principal of the school. When school is made, you can see from Barnaville, that's it from St. Peter Johnson, all the way driving Margaret Barnaville Johnson. When you see the amount of human being on the road, you know that St. Peter is very on top of things. But it's so unfortunate, personally, when I'm passing, when school dismissed, the population is very discouraging. So after that, I left the school 10th grade, I graduated from the Baptist level. After that, I'll be there. I want to be part of the child when I'll be there Friday and Saturday because I still love the school. And whatever helping here, I'm going to contribute because I have love for St. Peter. Thank you very much.
Thanks so kindly as well. Let's see who's on this side. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Julius, my name is Barabi Kamara. I'm the chairman of the Rescue Media Brigade.
Go ahead.
I know the occasion is not meant for the politics, but interestingly, I am a graduate of the St. Peter's High School. I want to say thanks to my colleagues in studio there. I will be there on the days mentioned. But Julius, like our national problem.
No. You're not going to national problem.
That is not coming. I'm not trying to speak about national issue. I am saying, like finding solution to national problems. If we want to find solution to the success of our nation, we must be able to speak the truth first. And in doing that, we must be able to identify the problem with the St. Peter's High School. The current administration of the St. Peter's High School, the Balance Road, is not doing well. And I think we must say this publicly so that they will know.
Okay.
They're not doing well. And it is because of them, because I know instructors who were part of that institution, and the current administration drove them out of the institution, and this is leading to the institution being broken down.
Okay.
We must say these things to them so that when we get there on those days, we'll be able to address them and properly contribute. We'll do the contribution, but let us identify the problem and say the truth to them.
Thanks so kindly. This person says, Francis Mensah, my regards to Mr. Peter Kwanzaa, Kona Rosina Ross, the Lion Kingdom will be there live by the grace of God. Seth Brown, they brought the idea. Okay, I'm not understanding what you're saying. Siaple Gwefekpe, thanks so much to your studio guests for such a brilliant idea of uplifting their instruction, their institution they graduated from. I guess that's what you meant. Frederick Bunda in the 90s, St. Peter had the best football and kickball teams in Gardnersville. Okay. Way back then. Let's take 2 more calls. I think our next guy should be around or in. Welcome. Let's hear you. All the way from the U.S. Let's hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Akwana Newton Nicholas, and I'm calling from New Jersey. I didn't attend St. Peter's, but I used to attend the Labrador Business Community College, the Pawi School. Attended that school from 8th grade to 10th grade before I moved to Labrador College. But I was always on St. Peter's campus because my stepmother used to do business there. So I know that school very well. And even when I sat my wire, 9th grade wire, that's why I took it to St. Peter's High School. So I want to say hats off to the guys. Some of my friends who graduated on that, wish other than too as well. Well, whichever way you can provide numbers, we can be able to contribute because we were in Ghana there and doing things together. Thank you.
Okay, thanks so kindly as well. 2 more calls. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Hello.
But that's St. Peter, very plenty. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Sekou Ducle. I'm a ruminant of St. Peter High School.
Go ahead, sir.
I graduated around 2012 or 13.
Okay.
I'm happy to hear my colleagues. I want to be part of it. And I made sure some of my friends that graduated along with us to be there along with us. But like the publicities, I'm just hearing this. And I graduated, a lot of our friends, I just told them about it, they said, just hearing it, don't know about homecoming. However, it's our alma mater. Character efficiency is our motto, so we'll be there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks so kindly as well. Welcome. Let's hear you. Hello. Let's take this final one. Welcome. Let's hear you. Hello.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm fine. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to dancing, speaking from Israel.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say bravo to my brother and my sister there in studio, my location Anita. Thank you guys, man, for the vision. And let it rest in you guys. Nothing should disturb you people. And actually, we will be there. We will show face. I'll be part of the chat room together with our stuff. Our own work is out of town. So you normally say, yeah. So one of the colleagues are here with me, Anthony, Jonah Kefla, and myself. We normally follow the chat, but then you see that they never issue in Liberia. Sometimes when they have that discussion, and we out of town, we can sometimes lose coverage. So I want to say thank you for the effort, and we will be there. I'm a 2006 graduate from St. Peter High School as well.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks so kindly.
Yeah, the candidate you want to do your small, just shut.
Yeah. Let him talk.
Okay.
Yes, my name is Councillor Lord Jonah Kefla. I graduated from St. Peter's High School 2005-2006, the class of Delta. Thanks to the organizer of this program, we will be there in full swing. Legally, you got my support.
Okay, thanks so kindly. We go back to you all now to provide additional information. Are there fees being paid? And go ahead.
Okay. Again, I want to say thank you too for the call. And then we have a package that costs $25. And then when you get your package, you see my attire today. I'm in a t-shirt and my cap, so I'm ready for the day. So we have the package, $25. When you get your package, you have your t-shirt, your cap, and your badge that we'll be using for that Saturday. And on Friday, we'll be in a school uniform to be parading. And then the mobile money account number is...
Take your time and call it.
The mobile account number is 0886 56 41 112. 0886 56 41 112. You just send your money to that number. The name on that number is Rebecca MD. She's the financial woman for that account. She will be there to receive your money and give you your package. If you have your money, just come, you get your package, and let's celebrate together. And not forgetting my Santo ladies. I want to say, y'all come there, enjoy ourselves on Friday and Saturday. We need to go back home and celebrate well. And not forget, we have some people in this government that are representative and other people that in the government that need to be part of the program. We're calling our representative for Sano County. We're honorable. You are welcome to this day. The mobile money number is there. We're calling other people for our code for LA.
Let me just squeeze in Olive. I don't know why she's just calling. Let me squeeze her in. Yeah, Olive, welcome.
Thank you so much, Julius. It's a good thing to have our alma mater, thought about, because I came out of that school since 2003, 2004. That's my class, and I'm impressed just hearing about the fact that people could think about it, because, we with the motto character and efficiency has brought us a very, very, we've got a good team. We even I heard the numbers you were talking about in class now. It just broke me down, because the St. Peter High School that we know had the morning and afternoon sections, and both sections were jammed to pack that sometimes you go to pay your school fees and they can't take you because the school is packed. But I'm grateful to God that our people, can gather and we come under one umbrella to save the Lion's Kingdom. That's how we're called Julius.
Okay. Thanks so kindly, Olive. I hope all of you will be there Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, for me, what,
that kickball? I won't see you playing kickball. We carry you to go exercise. You went only 1 week. You couldn't go back up there again.
I will play. Anita, no. Anita said no. I will play.
Okay, let's see. That will work. Okay, good. We come back to you now. Yeah.
Yeah, just to conclude, I want to say bravo to everyone of you that call and want to say you come back home, let's celebrate. And then after the celebration, we're going to be having our meeting on the second Sunday in the following month, which is June. So we ask everyone of you to be part of that meeting so we can give our details and breakdown whatsoever we have done. So we'll say thank you again for listening and for your input. We hope to see every one of you, our representative for St. Peter's, Honorable Weir, as you are listening to this show. Please show up that day. And not forgetting our Santos ladies, Mrs. Chiffon Dokwete. I want to see you that day.
Okay, please call the numbers again for people to contribute. And what's the name on the number?
The number is 0886 0886 564 112.
Again?
0886 564 112.
What is the name on it?
The name on it is Rebecca MD.
So they can call to ask questions. And
yeah, you can call to ask questions and whatsoever you want, we can feed you with that information.
Okay. We'll come to you, sir.
Okay, for clarity, you can also call my number because at times I only feed work with the team.
Mm-hmm.
So my number is 0778 692424. So you can call to check.
Call it again.
0778 692424.
Okay. Thanks so kindly for being here, and we wish St. Peter's all the best.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. That's how we go. Let's take this break. Next up will be J. Gabriel Nyinka. This break.
Attention to all lovers of the good things in life. A house is not a home, and a home is the one place where you should feel relaxed and accomplished. Your home should reflect who you are. So, it's time to make that upgrade with minimal damage to your pockets. And I have the perfect solution for you. Home Sweet Home, located on Benson Street, between Center and Buchanan Streets, got you covered. From the kitchen, we have air fryers, juice makers, pressure cookers, freezers of all sizes, and all the modern kitchenwares you can think about. From the bedroom, we have top-of-the-line, exquisite beddings to give you that great night's sleep because you have earned it. And soft, comfortable towels for your bathroom. And in the living room, we have high-definition TV sets of all sizes, unique aerial rugs, classy curtains in all the colors you desire, wall paintings of different sizes and colors, furniture, and everything you can think about for the home. All that at unbelievable prices. We even have low voltage, high quality washing machines and dryers to keep your clothes fresh and new at all times. As a bonus, we have fashion accessories for both the young and the old, designer quality bags, hats, and rare jewelries. So if you love yourself, your family, and your home, it's time to treat it right. Visit Home Sweet Home on Benson Street between Center and Buchanan Streets for that needed upgrade. You can call them on 0886 834 944 or 0770 581 420. Home Sweet Home, for the love of a classy home.
You can count on me. B.O. Smith, William Smith, right there from the U.S., a Liberian. You can count on me. Our guest is in shortly. We'll go over to him. I'll bring my shoulders when you need to cry. Jesus, and by your side. When your word is falling apart, call on me. You can count on me. Yes, indeed. He should be having a program in the U.S. I hope all of you who watch try to attend. Support him. You can count on me. June 8th, that's June 8th, 2025, Sanctuary Event Center. And that's 674th Avenue, North Fargo. I see N Fargo, maybe that instance for North, I believe. North Dakota 58102. Sanctuary Event Center. Go there. Be a part of it. Amel Lorenzo says there are many people to count on these days, bro. I'm not sure there are many, these days to count someone not easy. You can count on me. You can count on me. I'll bring my shoulder where you need to cry. Wipe your tears and stand by your side. Now when your word is falling apart, you can count on me. You can count on me. Yeah. I don't want to sing. I don't want to take you to church. Let's leave it like that. But that's okay. Okay, we have with us the man who bears the name J. Gabriel Nyenka, former lawmaker, former LERT boss, former advisor to the president, a reverend of the gospel. Usually on Wednesdays, he's into his spiritual, churchy mood and involved with those activities, but we're able to drag him out of there just 1 hour. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Julius. And I'm humbled by the exalted profile. Yes, senior advisor to the president, because my rule says senior advisor to the president. You know, different categories of advisors. So I'll senior advisor to the president communications. But thank you so much. We just commenced 3 days of fasting and prayers at the church. But like I told you, we had to come because you extended this invitation. So thank you for the opportunity to use your airwaves to engage the public. Yeah.
I hear you have some association with St. Peter's.
Oh yeah, but I called in and you told me I couldn't speak to.
Yeah, I said when you come
the people helped me briefly out there because we started St. Peter, as a matter of fact, 1981, 82.
As a student.
Yeah, of course.
So you stay long in this
I stay in that community for more than 50 years. That's why a lot of people don't know. I taught at 13 schools across the
Are you more than 50 years now?
I'm 55 in July, on July 9. I was born 1970.
You very look like him.
No, because I'm a minister of the gospel. So with the special grace here.
No, I think exercise too. You play football, you do all the
well, yeah, but besides that, when you imbibe the fear of God, then it helps restrict wild social activities. It helps a whole lot.
When you say wild social activities,
yeah, so there's no clubbing, no girlfriends, no alcohol, for instance. So you're not damaging your liver. You are not reducing your lifespan.
So you want to say you don't have side chicks?
No. I've been married 25 years, August 13. And 9 years prior to marriage is 34 years.
I find it difficult. You a handsome man. You
knew me for a good while. You were a kid when we were in the community. So
No,
say
but
that.
I don't know what you used to do. I don't know what
No, but
used to do.
you know fully well. We are trying to blow my own horn and beat my chest. You know, I was growing up as a young man. I became, the center for attraction of serious-minded young people. So we didn't have money. It was tough, but we motivated people on the basis of our moral values. And so we had like 15 to 20 people, some of them doing extremely well. Dr. Tiku Yole, Julia, of course, you should be chairman of the economics department. There are many, and a lot of them are serving. I'm so proud of them. We have absolutely nothing. I just sleep in an empty classroom at the former St. James School. But we had the capacity, by the grace of God, to motivate young people, to attract them to us and say, look, you can make it in life. I had two mothers, for instance. My upbringing is very controversial. One mother gave.
Yeah, we understand that part. You
Yeah.
are trying to sidestep what I was asking.
No, I'm saying to you in short that it is by the grace of God that we've come this far. And so we recognize it. And that's the reason why until I die.
Yeah, before we go to why I called you.
Yeah.
What is the secret to being able to stay away from the wild?
That's what I'm saying.
And
the wild social activities.
More so the female part of it, because a lady with means could just look at you and
so you get married. You get married early. Then you commit yourself to fidelity, but it will not work except it is consciously grounded on the platform of morality. It has to be by the fear of God.
Okay.
Because it takes the grace of God to bring you to this point.
Have you been tempted before?
Severally. But I've been, for instance, director of public affairs. It's a big position as Minister of Information. I've been political advisor to a senator from Sino. You know that. I've been chief of office staff to a lawmaker who was chair on rules order administration. Some of the committees guys are fighting over now. I've been, for instance, deputy minister in this country. I've taught for 20 years. I rose to the level of vice president of academic affairs. You know that. The biggest public school in Bannerville. And I've been a coach. I've been a footballer. I've been a president of a club. I've been all over the place. I've been many things to many people, Paul will say. The Apostle Paul will say. In the midst of that, I've never been perfect. I have my own indiscretions. I will be the first to confess that I'm only human. I've tried. I've been a lawmaker. I've been and in all of that, I crack a joke with you. Minister, I have a high regard for him, former Minister Harrison Kanwe. Called me the last time I went to his office. He was the Minister of Proper Deputy for Operations at Internal Affairs. This is 2010, 15 years ago. So when people in the United Party, they intend to, for instance, throw more and say the man is looking for a job, I look at them and laugh. I say, you don't even know who I am. I'm qualified. I've beaten my chest, competent to take a job. But I don't go for jobs. And that's the reason I will tell you, former president, I will tell you I differ in category on several issues. So my consistency is clear. You can talk what you want to talk. Talking is free, but I'm not going to change. Even if President Bouaka appoints me, I'm qualified to work for my country. If I accept the job, it doesn't mean I was supporting on every issue. No, trust me. I will stay. I was senior advisor to the president, senior executive marshal, and I differ with the president on many issues.
Yeah, sure. Don't worry.
And so that's something for anybody to talk about. Normally when you come to the radio station, people are going to say late, the mental people are late and so forth. That will be the only issue they will say at the end of the day. But the point I'm trying to make is that he called my phone and my wife answered. This is around lunchtime. So then he sent for me. I was in the office. He said, man, what's wrong with you? I said, how? I called your phone, your wife answered. You seem to be the only person in this country who will leave his phone with his wife. I said, it's a common thing. I brought her phone and left my phone with her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he said, man, what are you talking about? I said, that's how we've lived. So he got the message, and he said, I will see the woman. So he came to the house to see her, and that was a good thing, So, I've come a long way. I don't want to blow my own horn, but I'm just saying, and it is not because I'm perfect, it's not because I'm righteous, by the grace of God. If I had not found God earlier, perhaps I would have messed up. I keep telling people it has to be by the grace of God because I became a representative. I came from making deputy minister aside, $150. Then Mabudu office, we protested, they took it to 300. Then I became representative. In fact, I was renting. I was a tenant when the people of Balance actually elected me, or the District 11 folks. I'm grateful to them. I didn't have the money to build my own house. I became representative. I came from 300 plus US dollars to more than 8,000 US dollars. One of the reasons why I used to spend the way I used to spend, it became a problem in the district. They would call me different in 1,000 years and so forth. So because for me, the money was too much. I had argued, and when some people talk, I just look at them and laugh. Almost all the arguments DeLong has put on the floor has been arguments I have discussed with him when I was rep. We live in the same community. I said, look, there's no need for us to make anywhere beyond $5,000, for instance. I didn't take my vehicle until 7 months later on. I was threatened with suspension for 6 months because I discussed our salary on the radio. And this is 2012. Fast forward in 2020 when they don't sell it, people say, oh, they say 8 years later. Tyler was speaker. I said, oh, the man is irresponsible. How does he go to? I said, look, we are public servants. If you are embarrassed by the amount we're making because you feel it's too hard, then let's cut it down. So I've been around, and I know you want to ask some hard questions, side check. No, I don't have a side check, for instance. But I pastor a church.
Okay.
This morning, I led prayers from 9 straight to 2 before I started coming because I had to meet you here. I'm fasting as we speak.
Your man Stephen Johnson said you expect the comrade to admit.
But even if what would that mean? For instance, if my wife is aware, for instance, look, we've been together 34 years and she has never raised the issue of infidelity with me. If we had issue, it would be something different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. That was just the joke part of it.
I know. But it's also important because we want to encourage people who come into governance, for instance. When you venture into the public space, Apostle Paul has advised, for instance, in the church, you can't come into leadership, and it's 1 Timothy chapter 3. You can't come into leadership if you don't have that pedigree. Your character has to be stainless. You see, you must be a blameless character. So I practice the same thing. For instance, you're not married in my church and you are keeping somebody, you can be the best qualified, the most devoted, diligent. You can take a position in the church. Clear cut. If you are not married, you can take a position if you are single. And we have to be clear about it. That you're not keeping a woman in number. So again, if we can elevate, we say the nation was built on Christian principles, if we can elevate some of those Christian principles to leadership, there are some people who will not be anywhere around leadership. Trust me.
Certainly.
One of them being your speaker Kun.
No, let's leave out that one.
No, he's speaker. He's a public figure.
We can
he's the highest person. I thought you have talked district issue, for instance. Right now, the speaker is publicizing himself by putting billboards up. This is the first time since 1847 that you see thousands of billboards go up to say congratulations.
I saw something on social media, but I noticed.
No, not something I'm saying. No, in the district, I live in the district. I know you intend to play the what you call the thing, the devil's advocate.
No, it is not devil's advocate.
But it's obvious. It's evidentiary.
No, I am just acknowledging. I was carrying my children to school.
Which school?
This morning, Shirley Kumo, and then.
Oh, okay.
And then my daughter said, but this thing will be all over now. I said, what?
It's all over the place. Very bad stuff in fact, there's a triangular.
Then she pointed to the sign. I said, oh, wow. She said the one with the speaker business. I said, where you saw it again?
She
said to ban stuff to
it's all over the place.
It's all over. So,
but Jay,
I tried asking, why
we speak up very good. No, it's a problem. We speak in the history of Liberia prior to him has advertised himself. Even if Mam Kopu sells Kubu, show advertisement by putting a billboard or not be to say I'm selling Kobo. It will say Kobo is here, it's delicious, it's tasty for you to eat. So what are you promoting? Yourself?
I say it is his followers who did that and not him.
Jay, do you believe that in this country?
Well,
followers?
It's not for me to believe.
No, I have been a lawmaker. You say followers? It is my students that rallied and voted for me. My students, when we were campaigning, they used to eat cassava, roasted cassava. We used to sell plastic bags. You know where I come from? Quite humble backgrounds. Had absolutely nothing. These people put themselves at my disposal. But when I became representative, things changed. Everything will be on you. Everything. To tell me that this 11 folks will take their own money and put billboards up. It is a blatant falsehood. It will never happen.
Now, coming to the Edwin Snow and GOL.
I don't want you to prolong the conversation. Let me go to it straight. Firstly, I'm grossly disappointed in Minister Jeremic Pierre.
Why?
I've known him over the years. He's a God-fearing person. He rose to the point of becoming choir director at Our Lady of Lolly's Catholic Church, or he calls it Mary's Church, into a farm. And I've had a high regard for him. There are people in this government, for instance, I've commended the president. I came to this station, commended the president on the appointment of certain high-profile individuals who have integrity, and I still respect them. Even Gafwan joined the group. I've not had the opportunity since Gafwan joined the group to come to your station. So let me just add his name to the pool. So Double Jala, who in high esteem. I remember he had our delegation to Washington, D.C., went to the World Bank. This is 15 years ago. His integrity is unquestionable, except for the fact that recently he's a human, right? So he bought a vehicle, for instance, for Mudad, commerce, and became an issue, and I told him to come clear with it. I mean, people know you, people have a high regard for you. You became an idol here for integrity in this country, and that's how the Carter Center people hire you, clear cut. But you can't be involved in something shady. You don't come. You have to apologize and come clear, and we will defend you. You know. So you know, my man, the former chairman of the party, Wilmer P. He comes with a huge quantum of integrity. So there are people here who commend. Let me commend the president also on the appointment of Dr. Tiku Biole, for instance, a young man. He's now in Paris. He's my son. Let me put it that way. You know, everything about Tiku, by the grace of God, I taught him, I brought him up. And I know he has integrity because we taught him that. Now, one of the ways to distinguish yourself, not just by schooling the A's in school. Really. Too many people can score A in school, so you have to look for something else. Because except you are different, you can make a difference. So if everybody, it's too many people are schooling A, but most of them are crooks, then you have to look for integrity, which is not a course that they taught in school. That's one of the reasons why I'm here. For me to be the youngest appointed as the Vice President of Academic Affairs, for instance, at Eastern Goodrow, who have more than 65 teachers, almost 2,000 students, it is because the folks for me to have integrity. Ellen called me and told me it's because of integrity. But when there are too many people qualifying in this country, so I come from the United States with double masters. You know, they come from very good schools. We come from a school where we sit on blocks, for instance, no ventilation. In fact, you write your notes through the window, where shells have fallen and cracked certain parts of the wall at University of Liberia. So what do you have to prove when somebody comes from the States with double masters? But then we found out that we needed something extra, so we added integrity. That will not see a dime that doesn't belong to us. It means we'll rent until we leave office. So that's how we came through. So let me commend the president. One of the persons appointed is Ish Burma Famule. His appointment is for Ambassador of Egypt.
Yeah, Ambassador of Egypt.
My only surprise is that up to now he has not been confirmed because he's overly qualified for the job, more than qualified. This is a former acting foreign minister. The foreign minister runs for the president on a daily basis the foreign policy of the state. The president is the foreign policy architect of the state. But because it's very basic, so he delegates that position to the foreign minister. And this guy's been acting. The foreign minister coordinates the activities of the foreign missions under the deputy minister. This guy has risen to be foreign minister. So I thought it would be a 5G, if there's anything of 5G passage. I'm shocked up to now it has not been passed. My understanding is that DeLong is chairman of the committee. He doesn't understand anything foreign relations. So I'm not, once I was informed, then I said, okay, I know why they are delaying it. But if there had been any serious person, he will be passed on the first day. Clear cut, you know. But let's thank the president for the appointment. I think he's the most qualified, most competent person right now for the post, and we shouldn't delay his confirmation for any reason whatsoever. Somebody told me they're asking for some letter that he wrote before on Kimaya issue with his staff at the embassy and all of that. You know, look, when you do confirmation here in Julius, it should be on the basis of the person's qualification and competency for the job at stake. Should be a so controversial issue, whether it's private or somebody wrote a letter. And right. Look at the man's CV. Does he match what it takes to do the job? Does he have the requisite experience and the competency? Family has passed that stage already.
Back
so
to
Pierre is a disappointment because, like I said, I've known him. How can Pierre publish a statement? Julius, you read his statement. I listened to you very keenly. You read his statement religiously. And you went to Snow and played Snow's voice. You did English. You went to an English university. So you will know better than I do when it comes. I'm not going to England to go to school. But here's a point: when you put quotation marks, you know, and you say this is somebody's statement, then you are saying, in other words, you didn't edit, you didn't interpret. It's not an analysis. It's clearly the person's verbatim. That's what you're saying. But it turned out to be a complete falsehood. That the state machinery will throw its weight in a falsified manner against a prominent son of the soil. It's more than scary. And I said to Snow, this is beyond you. I spoke to him this morning. He was on his way to Abuja. I said, Snow, it's not about you. When I go to the video show, for instance, I look at the national, scope of this. If Snow, who sits as chairperson of Liberia's delegation, parliamentary delegation to ECOWAS, right? Perhaps he's the longest serving. I checked. Nobody has served as long as he has served on that committee. Even when George Weah was the head of the committee or the delegation, he was doing all the job for Mane when Mane was a senator in 2014. He took office 2015 and thereabouts. So I'm saying to you, this guy is highly respected. He's flying Liberia's flag very prominently and satisfactorily. He sits on committees that go from country to country talking about reconciliation. Mali, for instance, Burkina Faso, for instance, Guinea, Ivory Coast. Other people who were resigning and dismembering themselves from ECOWAS know how to be placed on committees to discuss the decisions with them. Because he differed with you at a local level, you're not charging with treason. That is the effect of the statement that Pierre published. If that statement had come from Sando, for instance, I will understand because he's appointed to insult people. So it's a different thing. And somebody called me and said, no, it didn't come from Sando. It came from Pierre himself. I said, no, it can't come from Pierre. I placed a call on 2-3 occasions, he didn't answer. So I decided I would take this issue up with him. I'm disappointed. Pierre should be ingrained with the capacity to be politically tolerant. Because in this town, Julius, 5 or 6 months into the Weah government, the Unity Party, one of the ages of the CPP, organized a Bring Back Our Money protest. Few months later, they organized a Weah resign. Weah stepped down. You were here. They took on the Capitol building. They said they would stay there until Weah resigned. They were amassing people there. They were bringing mattresses and so forth. But something happened that caused, because Weah is blessed. I have my serious fundamental difference with Weah, but Weah is blessed. You can fight his grace. So, Representative Yeke Koluba was alleged to have had guns in his vehicle. That what caused the problem, and they did not stay there. They were lighting fire. They are carrying coat parts and so forth and so on. In the earlier Bring Back Our Money campaign, we had distributed food, water, soft drinks to the protesters. I think he elevated his democratic credentials, his peace nature by that. But look at what they're doing now. Somebody makes a comment. Can we read Article 15, for instance?
Well, by his comment, according to them, wishing for the state to fail, for the government.
No. He did not wish. No, I need to correct that immediately. He never wished for the state to fail. Never.
Well, but
it's a lie.
If he wished for the government to
very
fail,
good.
That's a state failing.
So no. The government's failure is not equated to state failure. I'm a student of political science. You know very well that I got the Magna Cum Laude international relations. But let's leave that. Let's leave that.
State.
So that's the reason why we can replace the government for failing to keep the state afloat. So we have an opportunity to replace the government because the government has failed. Not that the state has. State collapse and state recollapse are caused within certain tenets of democracy. So it is not about one government failing and say state has failed. No. In fact, Professor Larry Tokpa has written an op-ed, article, very, very rich, on state failure and state re-failure, And we came from the New Deal movement background, so he's my professor and so forth. So let's not go there. Even Dr. George Click here, published a detailed account of that. State failure is a different thing. People may not understand when it comes to political science. When you say state failure, we're talking about the state. When you say government failure, you're talking about the agency of the state. So the agency of the state can be separated from the state. The agency is the government. The government is the agent of the state. State failure goes beyond a government failure.
So let me ask you, can
but did you verify that first? You check, and the quotation they made nobody has supported it.
Yeah.
So why must the machinery of the government, especially the information arm, lied very blatantly?
So can the wish of a politician
amount to state failure?
Yeah, that's the question.
Never can never amount to state failure, because whether you like it or not, all opposition parties are coming. What is a prayer? Snow say I pray for Bwaka to fail so that we can replace him. Did he say I pray for for Liberia as a state to fail? No, it's clear, play it. But the point I'm trying to make, people say prayer. What is prayer? When you under the auspices of CPP spend thousands of US dollars, right, to pay lobbyists in Washington to impose sanctions on Liberia, which is heavier? Julius, let's take it for granted now. You say which is heavier? The United Party under the CPP arrangement, and Wisner will call and he can admit to that because he was responsible for that program, to pay thousands of dollars to lobbyists in Washington D.C. to impose sanctions on the we are government. Which is worse? Somebody pay money for another person to talk for sanctions to be imposed. Another person say, I pray that you fail. Which is worse? Somebody organize step down campaign. Which is worse? So prayer starts with the heart. My Bible tells me in 1 Samuel that Hannah was praying without vocal. You know the story very well. You are a child of God. God answered the prayer even though she didn't say a word that was audible to the priest Eli. Eli was the archbishop of the day. He came and saw the woman praying and he thought she was drunk. And he said, no, I'm a woman of a sorrowful spirit. I've come to God to rescue me from the disgrace that comes from Penina. My mate keeps, doing this to me. We're not talking Bible, but what I'm saying in short is prayer does not have to be heard vocally by other people. It starts with the heart. The more vocalizes what the heart says, and God looks at the heart. So when you call, for instance, a step down campaign, it means you are praying for the government to fail. If you call for bring back money, put people in the street, you are praying for the government to fail. If you are paying people in Washington D.C. to impose sanctions on the government, you are praying for the government to fail. So Snow jokingly says, I'm praying for. What substantive in law? We say when you take substantive steps to a purpose that you've planned, to executing that purpose, then we can hold you responsible for attempted this. So what tell me what substantive
the government thinks he is at ECOWAS. He is influential.
They sent him to ECOWAS,
and there is
this government as
there is
ECOWAS?
This thought he may be undermining the government internationally.
Does ECOWAS stoop so low to honor the prayers of a member? There are 5 members representing Liberia at ECOWAS. Do you know that first? You know that. You want to call their names? So we are blessed to have 2 former speakers who are representing us at ECOWAS. You think Snow can commit the other 4 people without their knowledge? Speaker Tyler is on the ECOWAS, you know that. And Speaker Tyler, by far, is one of the best speakers in the last 25 years. One of the best. I worked with him, so I know that. So to say that Snow will bamboozle ECOWAS into running over heels for his wishes is being myopic. It's childish.
Let us
don't we have your own international relations here?
Let us listen.
What did the foreign affairs, for instance, what the foreign minister advised them to say? To say Snow can just wish or pray, and then ECOWAS will come running and execute his wishes. Who told you that? Snow says on ECOWAS committees that negotiate for peaceful settlement of conflict issues in other countries.
Okay, so let me play what the information minister said last night on.
It is accusing Snow. It is I'm sorry, but it's accusing Snow of being a corporate of treason, of sedition. So I will read the article that defines that.
Hold on, let me play this quickly for the public.
If there's a problem in Burkina Faso today, the ECOWAS security team is going there. Mr. Snow is part of that team. If there's an election taking place in Ghana, they're sending a team there, observer team. Snow is on that from the ECOWAS parliament perspective. He's into all these things. There are even instances where this man has taken our national politics to the ECOWAS parliament. Exactly. There are evidences that at some point he was at the parliament and complained in session how the current president was leading the country in a direction that was this. He now allowing the former president to use the presidential loan. How do you take these domestic issues of your country to an international forum that is meant to focus on regional issues and just try to embolden them or overshadow them with your domestic political issues? And yet you say you are why you are. So he has a chance to rethink. He has a
Okay. No, it's a big disappointment. In fact, by that statement, Pierre has further validated my call for his immediate dismissal.
He should be dismissed?
For Pierre to even think that ECOWAS does not have a verified and certified agenda, that you will go with gossip, and ECOWAS chairperson will put your gossip on the floor, this is childish. I know, it should be coming from Pierre. If it's Daniel Sano, I can understand. So, if the president does not take a decision to demand the resignation or he does not dismiss Pierre, then I will take it as a government's position. For now, I'm taking it as Pierre's personal position because he's jittery over Snow's rise and prominence, and therefore he's trying to see where he can cut Snow off. Listen to me, it doesn't work like that. ECOWAS, long before a summit or a conference is planned, they will send the agenda around, it will be validated and so forth. You don't go and say presidential launch is an issue for ECOWAS. We're faced with serious issues and you are gossiping as a government? Who goes to ECOWAS to go talk about launch, VIB launch? You feel serious stability issue, for instance. We are told right now in the Ivory Coast that there are things happening we don't know. Mali, for instance, Burkina Faso, other countries have been withdrawing their membership. You go and discuss VIP launch? Pierre, you need to stop this, man. This is childish and below the
before we
belt.
go to the lines, how do we move on from this?
No, I want you to read a couple of articles so to say, look, Article 15, Chapter 3 of the Liberian Constitution guarantees free speech. It talks about holding opinions. You can't be a prisoner of conscience. And Sunu has a right to hold an opinion. It's guaranteed under our Constitution. It's a tenet of democracy. And I'm calling the American government, the UN, the American embassy here, the EU, and everybody here to tell this government to stop what it is doing. It is a brutal assault on our democracy. It is not just about a statement against Snow. Pretty soon they will recriminalize libel against the president. George Weah, who spent time playing football, had decriminalized it through the Abdullah Kamara Act. You know that very well. My point is, where we're going now, we're becoming authoritarian and despotic. When people appear, advise the president to be dictatorial and despotic, we are treading dangerous path. Especially on top of the violation of all the laws, our constitution, statutory laws, regulatory laws, everything has been violated by this government from day one. Supreme Court's ruling has been trashed into the dustbin. Nobody has a respect for the rule of law anymore. And then on top of this, you take a prominent Liberian who was sitting in Sweden representing ECOWAS, and you start charging him for treason because effectively what you're doing, you're saying that he's destabilizing the state. Yeah, this is serious.
Okay.
So we can go to Article 77 and Article 76, for instance, and ask ourselves, what are you doing to Snow? Is it because you are afraid that Snow is in opposition and you want to? But he has a right. Which opposition party wishes the ruling party well? I mean, let's be honest. Let's not be pretentious. Which opposition party that wants to take power will not jump at the slightest error of the government of the day? So your prayer, your wish, your aspiration is that the sitting government will fail so that in opposition you have an opportunity to lead.
Okay.
Isn't that the fact?
Thanks so kindly. 777-700-995-555-995. Let's take a few calls on this. Let's begin from here. Welcome. Let's hear you quickly.
Octavio Williams again back on the line.
Go ahead, Octavio.
Okay, so this is the government Senate kid that has been exposed. The government processing to the UN, where they want Liberia to take a non-permanent seat to the UN, seems to be a failure. So they are using Senator Snow as a Louis Gassa in this process, where in case they are totally not successful, Snow will be seeing a focus of attention where he contributed largely to this failure of this process. And Representative England said it. That is there Snow alone that can move the parliament of ECOWAS? No, but let me say something interesting to use, Jay. The Liberian government under President Joseph Yuma Bouaka have, massively paid in terms of connection and everywhere. When President Ellen Johnson Saliba had this type of big projects, the first group of people she will call is the media. In these process and proceedings, the government under President Bouaka has spent millions of dollars sending former information minister, former foreign minister, Toka McIntosh Gateway, former foreign minister, Betunga Finlay. Individually, he has been sending people. The local media content that has been lifted back in international community in knowing his massive feelings and how Liberians feel by the day, they left out. So they have seen by all means that they will fail and not succeed. So they find a bridge, you know what somebody, drowning, right? So they are finding Snow as the drowning point. Listen to me. Adding Snow as speaker, he and I have had numerous issues. We have disagreed publicly, we have disagreed in-house. But on this issue, this is a rebirth of the tyrannical regime of former President Samuel Kayan Kedo, degree 88A. The one is coming from, it's coming again from the information ministry.
Okay.
This is wrong, and this does not serve as a landing point for the government because we are critics of the government. After Snow, it will be us.
Thanks so kindly. After Snow, it will be us. Welcome. Let's hear you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good evening. I'm Georgia. I'm Nicholas Sidiki Tawale, and I'm calling you from Upper Cow.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me say good evening to the former lawmaker. I said one as movement against the re-election of him, and definitely it happened. The former lawmaker is sophisticated. He's just like Akara Moses Gray, but they have no integrity. This is the same thing they did to former President Weah today. President Weah is regretting. If you will sit there and say the country that we all share, the country that we have no other able to go, and which that country to fall, and then justify that kind of thing.
Did you wish for him to fail when you went against him?
If you are wishing for government to fail, meaning you are wishing for the
No. I'm asking you. You say you organized a movement against his re-election. So you were, and he was not re-elected
because he was serving us.
Yeah,
he was serving us on the contrary.
I agree. I just want to know what you wanted him to fail, and he failed, and you are happy, right?
No, he was leading us in the wrong direction.
And so I agree. And so did the district fail because of his failure?
No. You are let's just discuss the issue now.
That's your issue, bro.
Thank you. See you. Welcome. Let's hear you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good evening, Julius. Let me say good evening to your studio guest, Jake Gibonikan. I remain Emmanuel where I call from Central Monrovia.
Go ahead.
Let me just quickly respond to the premise Jake Gibonikan laid at the very inception of the show. I want a person who can stand and vouch for his integrity. Gibonikan, since I've come to know him, okay, Julius, don't go there with too much social life. When you talk about he going on the field, probably to play his football as a girlfriend, even in school, Gibonikan taught in Ghana for over 19 years. There is not a single student, including even his opponents, that would tell you that Gibonikan name was ever mentioned in corruption. So I stand for that, and I know him to be the kind of person he is. And quickly to, this issue that is on him. You just ask the previous caller. No, Julius, when people come to desecrate the show, what you do for to save the time, just call them off.
No, that's not how we do it. Everybody, we got to hear from everybody.
Yeah, it's true. But the show is meant for people who want to learn.
My man, tell your own. The man tell your own.
So Julius, when somebody said to you, I organized a group to get this man out of power, and he forcefully said, yes, it indeed came true. Does it mean that the district collapsed or the district failed?
Okay.
The district still in existence.
Thanks so kindly. Let's take this one quickly. I need to take more people. Welcome. Let's hear you quickly.
Thank you, my good friend and brother Julius. Let me commend you always for the opportunity. And let me say hi to Mr. Yinkan. Look, Mr. Jet, when you can take the platform, I'm always happy because he brings sense to the disco. You should not let him, but you should let him for a truth.
Hold on.
Let him for.
Okay.
That's what for someone all would like him for. So look, I was just sitting laughing when he was jokingly saying that, you know, that executive launch video, somebody will go to airport for a start to make me laugh. Look, but not all be serious in this country. I always say this government is not serious at all. We have been saying lately.
Okay, thanks so kindly. We'll hold you there. Yeah, we'll hold you there. Let me take Daniel Sano too, because he was mentioned. Daniel, you can go ahead.
Good evening, Mr. Julius J.
Yes, go ahead. You were mentioned. Go ahead.
Let me say good evening to the defeated former lawmaker of Electoral District number 11. You know, it's a good thing to.
No, Mr. Nika, your mic off. Yeah, your mic off.
It's a good thing to have the.
No, but don't be talking so we can hear him. No, you can go ahead, Sano. Hello, Sano. Hello. Your line is, I don't know what's happening. Daniel? Yes, you can go ahead. Sir, please, no, sir, please. Let's allow him to have a say. Yeah, you can go ahead.
So, as I was saying, it's a good thing to have national discourse interactive. It's another thing to have people who will come to the discourse to serve as higher boss of try to undermine the democratic credential of the government.
So Daniel, that particular quote that was made in the release. What is the evidence that Snow said the exact words that were quoted about him?
The first thing here is that Mr. Yinka has been in the studio for over let me be close to an hour now. When I said that you wanted to say that, you had not said that you got me the line and you keep disturbing. That's been very irresponsible. So that was the point. The government of Liberia issued a statement. And what the government had to say, to Mr. Snow is what we have said. We are in no sort of war with him. So allegation that his life is under threat is absolutely baseless and unfounded.
Okay. Thanks so kindly, Daniel. Because of time, we'll go back to him to wrap up. I know the interest is I haven't put your mic on. I haven't put your mic on yet. Your mic has been off. Because of time, I can't take more calls. I know a whole lot of interests were touched by this. We'll go back to you for 45 seconds to wrap up.
So, chapter 8. Article 77 of the Liberian Constitution.
No, but you first have to apologize.
Let me apologize.
I had Daniel on the line.
Let me apologize.
And you kept talking.
No, I don't listen to Daniel. I've told him never to call when I go to the studio.
But why? That is not being tolerant too.
No, I'm being tolerant. But his integrity has been punctured sufficiently for somebody not to listen to him. This guy was the only person in the history of the Senate. Jay, why you get asking? He was investigated and it was established factually, evidentially that he lied on even his benefactors. They had to suspend him for some time for lying. You can end a job for lying and I listen to you.
No, but still, it was.
I can listen to you, but for me, I don't. No. Unfortunately, somebody else will call. I will listen. Anybody else will call, but not Daniel Sando. Daniel Sando should not even be a minister of government. He has absolutely no integrity. He's a consummate and pathological liar. He can't be at the minister of information. He doesn't tell any truth. So I don't listen to him. This young man graduated nice school. He has not gone to school further. He's just lying all over the place. And they offer him a job. And that's the reason why the picking, that's the reason why I had to call the ball, Yamplu had to leave because Yamplu was more qualified than his boss. You can come from nice school, no, but let me just read my article and close.
Yeah.
So, chapter, you brought Daniel Sano in. We didn't expect you to bring him in. I don't listen to him. When I come to your station, I listen to serious people. He's not a serious person, man. So, chapter 3, Article 77, it says, since the essence of democracy is free competition of ideas expressed by political parties and political groups. Now, free competition idea, I'll not read it, we don't have time. It says, in other words, Snow has a right in a democratic society like ours to express his opinion that should be free of interference. So you connect that to Article 15 of the Liberian Constitution. It says the president and his establishment should have absolutely no interference with Snow's comments. You understand? But to marshal and galvanize the entire state machinery against Snow, who is more prominent than Bwaka himself.
Thanks so kindly, sir. That's how we go. The OK conversation tomorrow. We'll be back. Hopefully, we'll have with us Senator Duncan of Sino. Let's go. The news.